What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mean Green Show.
What up? What up?
J Money, we got a special one today.
Very special.
All right. Y'all gonna hear all type of sound effects and everything. But look, this one's cool because T comes from different backs of Mean Green. What I mean by that, you have a background of bootcamp, background of gym, PTs. You've done it all. Yeah. So, Jared, before we announce T, what else would you add into the intro as we explain who she is?
Oh man, I love how you throw me into this past 2 weeks. But
sweet.
Come on with it, Jared.
Come on.
With
She be putting pressure on you because she like, you gotta say it right.
You better come with it.
Yeah.
All that we've been through. Come on, Jared.
Look, my girl. I don't know. I'll say when we look at somebody that embodies MGT, I think that this is a perfect episode to end on because we've gone boot camp, we've gone gym, north side, south side, gym. So it's kind of an honor to have somebody that not only does but embraces everything that we do from the gym to boot camp. So with no further ado. My girl T.
Hey. For those that are online, give my girl some love.
This is the wig that y'all voted for, but it's tangled. I might have to change to the bob.
Let me tell you what she did, y'all. For those that don't know, she put an Instagram post out, right?
I sure did.
Tell us about what you did.
Well, I first put an Instagram post out asking for questions because I couldn't think of any questions for y'all. But also which wig, and the people voted on this wig. I was feeling the bob, but
so you got to give everybody some love. They looking at you.
So everybody, this is the wig you voted for. Her name is Mariah, and let's have some fun.
That's the first time I've ever heard somebody name a wig.
That's legit.
Jared, what happened to the wig at boot camp the other day?
Hold on, tell me the story. What happened?
So she pulls up the boot camp on time, and then she gets out of the car and she's walking, and I was just coming to see how she was doing, and she just griping.
I was talking trash too.
Just talking. I was like, hold on, T.
Right.
It's just the wig just fell out the car.
Just fell. So did you put it on? Did you?
No, she collapsed.
Okay. I collapsed. I was so ashamed.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to see me like that.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. I get it.
I'm so embarrassed.
I get it. Well, I want to jump right into it because I've been.
Yes.
I thought she was on the episode prior. I remember texting Jared, I was like, T's today? And you wasn't, so I've been waiting on this, man.
You've been waiting on me?
I've been waiting on you.
You know, we don't know each other that well.
I think we do. I think we know each other more than what you think.
I know God, but I don't know you that well. So
this is the perfect opportunity.
Yes, I'm excited
to kind of do that. And for me, T, I get the opportunity to see everybody from afar. So it's always an honor to sit and communicate. So tell me this. I want to start from the beginning. How did you hear about Mean Green? What was that like?
Oh, it was years ago. Good old Groupon.
Good old group. That's a long time ago.
I'm looking at the T camera. The good old Groupon. And I just was at a point where I was like, I want to lose weight. I had just moved to the north side, and I saw a Groupon for like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I got a free shirt, and I just kept coming on out.
Ever since then. Who was your first trainer?
Milton.
Shout out to Milton.
So,
what was that like training with Milton?
I love Milton.
Yeah.
I rides for Milton. I go hard for Milton. It's me and Milton till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Milton.
And I used to like the old model where they would pull a scale out, and every week we had to get on the scale
in front of
everybody.
We
had to jot down our food. I like that, but y'all got away from that.
Yeah.
So
well, maybe we can bring it back.
I loved it. It worked.
We took a beating on that.
I lost 20 pounds.
She was like, I don't care what y'all say. I liked it. I liked it.
I'm a numbers person.
Well, maybe we can bring it back for you.
Just for me.
Yeah.
Everybody else don't have to have the scale, but I need the scale.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I need the scale.
You met Milton.
Yes.
What was some of the first members, whether they're current or not, what was some of the first couple of people that you met?
So I have been going to this gym. Yeah, I just learned people's names last year, although I didn't talk to nobody. I would literally go and interact with Milton, and I was that person that would exercise and get my stuff and leave. Just, hey. So I really didn't talk to anybody. It wasn't until last year that I started to open myself up and talk, because that's what my counselor told me to do.
Yeah.
So
And how's that been since you've done that?
Oh my God, look at me! I'm on the Mean Green Show. This is just amazing. So I literally, and that was my homework. My counselor literally was like, you go to this gym and you see these people and you don't interact and you want to, because I was like, I feel so left out, like I don't know anybody. So she was like, just start talking, and it's just been
Ever since.
It's been ever since.
Can you name drop one person?
I can name drop a whole bunch of people.
Give me a name. Give me a shout out.
Cherie.
Cherie.
Hey, Erica. Hey, Dane.
Yeah.
Raven. Oh, my camera. Raven. Sahar, Diana.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
Bootcamp. I love
Monica.
I love
We
it.
got all of them.
Yeah.
People. I keep going. Sadie. Nikki. We keep going.
And I've noticed that you've been at the events. How has that been for, just connecting with the names that you just said? Chief Putty, y'all.
Yo, it literally, everything that I'm doing is not by chance. It's literally because of homework that my counselor gave me. She just was like, I want you, because I said, in the Mean Green Gala, that's why I call it gala. Yeah, I might call it gala.
Yeah.
But anywho, I am so excited to go to that because that was the turning point for me. When everybody went and I didn't go, I cried and cried to my counselor, and I was like, I don't fit in with these people, and nobody knows me. And so she was like, that's your homework. Get to know these people.
I didn't know that.
And so by coming to events and things like that, it's just, and here I am. So that's why for me, the Mean Green Gala it'll be like a full circle moment. So.
That's dope. So, Jared, hearing this, when you came
Lord.
back from I'm scared to ask now. I don't even know what I should ask. Right? I don't even know how this goes.
Some lows. Yeah, go ahead, Jared. Come on, Jared.
Hearing this, Jared, you were able to come back to Houston and get back into the brand, and then you meet this T. What was that like meeting T? And let's just start there. What was that like meeting T?
Man, T, you want to be honest, T?
We go back though, Jared.
We do go back.
We go back a little way.
2018.
Yes.
The first time I met T. I was going through my phone. I saw some pictures of you from 2018. I'll show you those. I will. But when I got back, man, our T family, our relationship has been a roller coaster ride.
I had mental health.
Full of highs, full of lows.
God.
But I will say the one thing that has been consistent is presence. Right, so whether it's been high, whether it's been low, you've been there, and I just first off applaud you for that.
Well, thank you.
Whether you highs or lows, you've been there. So obviously coming back, one thing you did was challenge me, right? Every single, I felt like every conversation, I had to work within myself to figure out how to be a better coach for you.
But Jared, I was transparent about things that I was going through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it was a bad season. And I literally told Jared, I was like, let me quit. I told him several times, like, just let me go. Let me quit.
Like quit boot camp.
Quit it all. I was done. Okay? Because I just was like, I knew that I was not in the right headspace. And I was like, I've got to go. I can't do this. And he was like, no, don't quit. I'll leave you alone, but don't quit.
So what was that like for you then, T? So you're at a place where you're like, look, I just want to disconnect.
Ooh, Lord.
And he wouldn't let you. What was your immediate response? Was it kind of like, all right, I get you? Or is it kind of like?
You just don't know the half of it.
I'm kidding. So let's put a disclaimer in right now. I don't know where this episode's about to go. Right? But the thing I will tell you, T, with Mean Green specifically, I've noticed a trend that there are so many people that deal with the same thing. And I believe what we're about to talk about potentially may help someone else. So don't.
Are we going there?
If you're okay with that.
I'm okay. Let's go. Let's go.
So what was that like? Know?
It was, okay, so I was doing Mean Green in 2018. And then I ended up texting Milton. Was like, Milton, I done got pregnant. I got to leave. So Milton put my stuff. I said, I still got some sessions left. Don't cancel my stuff, Milton, because I don't like to waste my money. And so long story short, I prematurely had and lost a baby and had to bury him. Jacob is his name. And so from there, though, I threw myself into just God. Like, everything was church, religion, all of this. Like, it was the only thing that I was like, the only way I can get through this is with God. So when I started to get back into a better headspace, Milton, good old Milton, it does not matter. I leave Mean Green like 11 times. And every time that I leave, Milton will always send me a text out of the blue and be like, we got a deal, we got a promo. And so he happened to send it. And so I came back. But as I came back, I just was, COVID hit. And then two of like my most favorite uncles passed away. And then my older brother, he was my cousin, but he was raised like my brother. He passed. When he passed, and it was just grief after grief, I went into like a depression.
Yeah.
I didn't leave the house. I didn't interact with anybody. I didn't talk to anybody. I just stayed completely to myself. So when I started with boot camp with Jared, like in end of December of, what was that, 2021, I was, by this time last year, I was ready to be up out of here.
Dang.
I was literally there.
Okay.
And so I had never gotten that low before. And I remember I was in my room, and clear as day, a voice was like, just take yourself to Westlake, Houston. Just go to the bridge. Just look at the water and jump. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But then it dawned on me, I can't swim. If I jump, I'm going to drown. So I started like crying and all of that. And I text Jared.
Wow.
And I said, Jared, I am drowning. And that was like my way of saying I'm drowning. And I said, I want to quit. Just let me go work on my mental health and all of that, and I'll come back. It was like midnight when Jared texted me back, and he was like, sorry to text so late, but I can't let you quit. I know you're going through all kinds of things. I know this is hard and tough, but I promise you, I'll leave you alone. I'll give you your...
I know. We all about to cry over here, dog.
I'll leave you alone. And I didn't respond to Jared, but I just started coming back and coming back. So, and it was times where I literally would go into these episodes where I just would like be out of body. And I remember wrapping up my stuff, and Jared was like, where are you going? I was like, something's not right. I've got to go. Like, and I sat in the car and cried, and then I'd come back out, and he was still always there. So as cliche or whatever as it sounds, Jared Garcia literally, like, he said, I would not be here. This time last year, I had accepted that maybe it was meant for me not to be here. And he replied at almost midnight. And here I am on the Mean Green Show.
Wow. All right, Jared. How do you respond from that? Y'all can't do the zoom up on Jared right now. You know what, man? I believe that first, thank you for being brave.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I've always wanted to share this testimony, y'all.
Yeah.
Sometimes if anybody follows me on Instagram, I'm always like, one day, when the time is right, I'm going to share my testimony, because there are people that don't even know that I ever even went through that, lost a child or anything, because I was just so guarded.
Yeah.
But if it helps anybody, then that's that. Look at me. I'm here.
Right. You know what? You're here and you're still standing.
Yeah, I am.
I'm over here.
And looking good.
Look
and
at my
looking
palms.
good, yeah.
Look, I'm sweating.
Oh.
And the reason why I say that, T, is just I've opened up about this, dealing with like depression personally, and a lot of people deal with it, and it's awesome that you have people like yourself that are brave enough to be transparent enough to help others. And for me, it's hard to say. For me to hear that Milton or Jared has been a tool, an instrument
They saved my life.
to keep you going.
They saved my life.
You know what I mean? Like,
and it's all because of God. It's all because of
Absolutely.
God. I literally would cry in that room, and I'd be like, God, I'm so alone, and I'm so lonely, and I'm just isolated. And I came, like I said, Milton sent the text, and then I started to come back, and now it's one of those things where it's like people check in on me. And even I've been so transparent on Instagram, if it's times where I'm feeling sad or I'm going through something, I'll post, and I get all these messages from Mean Green people that are like, hang in there. Oh, Erica. I don't know. I think Jared be running his mouth a little bit about me to Erica. And I've always wanted to talk to her, but I never knew how or any of that. So she sent me a message, and you know how sometimes people will try to relate to you, but you don't really just know what I'm going through. When she started trading stories and we was going back and forth,
like, you've been through some stuff.
and I was like, oh, you actually understand me. The messages that we just started sending each other were like long, just you've met your message count or whatever, because it was so long. And so whenever I'm feeling just frustrated or down, I call her out of nowhere, and she talks to me. And so just the family, my sister was just telling me, she was like, girl, look at you. You were just crying to me, and you have a community and family, and they actually ride for you. And I was like, and I'll ride for them too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good.
Dog. I feel like running through a brick wall. Y'all think so? Hold on. Let me say this because it's important for me at least. That's why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's why like I don't think people understand. So I'm not a part of the equation, right? I'm not there present, right?
But you are, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
You said when I started listening to the podcast, you've said it multiple times. You say people come to the gym thinking they're coming for one thing. Oh, I'm coming to lose weight. I'm coming to this or that. They don't know that it's something deeper there that they're searching for and longing for. So for me, literally when I talked to Jared and he was like, "What's your goals?" I was like, "I just don't want to see a postpartum body and no baby to show for it. That's it. You helped me with that. That's that." But really, when you dig deeper, you realize, no, it's something else you're missing. So every time that you would say that on the podcast, I would be like, it just was like light bulbs would go off. And I'm like, I am not here just to like lose weight or whatever. I am here because it's like this support system that I didn't know that I needed. Man. So by you saying that in this show, had you never had the show and I never tuned in, I never would have opened my eyes and realized, oh, Lord, it is by divine intervention that I'm here at Mean Green in this season. It's not by coincidence. So you did have a part. There you go. And you had that Groupon, child. That's how I got here in the first place, baby. You had that Groupon.
That Groupon is beyond
that good old Groupon, child. Bring back the Groupon.
Yeah,
okay.
Man. It's just, again, it's one of those fulfilling moments. This is actually this has to be one of the top Mean Green fulfillment moments that I've ever had in my life.
All right. Yes.
You know what I mean? Think about that. I've been doing this for a while, and I've heard people coming off medication and beating doctors' reports and losing X amount of pounds and getting over depression. But to sit in a room on a mic, and I'm hearing this story to the tangible, the way you've told it for the first time for me. Yeah. And it's like right now, I want to do more. I want to be able to create more, and I want to be able to affect more, empower more. And this, man, literally my palms are freaking sweating.
I see
because you're giving me the chills.
Wow.
And Jared, say something.
I know she took me out for a while there.
Wow. Just wow. That's all I can say.
I was honestly one of the main things that you said was your passion when I first came down was not only to help members reach their goals, but it was to help trainers reach their goals, to see things they've never seen before, to do things they've never done before. And for me, as a trainer, I think my goal, similar to that, is not just to help you guys lose weight. It's to help you feel things you've never felt before and do things you've never done before. So just for you to be able to say that is, that's why it just moved me so much.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
In 2011, I was doing a boot camp at Ray Miller Park, and it'll be cool for her to hear this story. I'm so proud of her. She's a winner. And I remember talking to her on the bench, and she wanted to talk. This is back when boot camp, we used to sit with each individual and talk about their goals and have a little printout sheet of paper.
Bring that back, G.
Right? She said bring it back.
Yes.
So we're going through the goals, exactly what you said, T.
Yes.
We're going through the goals, and I remember talking to her, and she gave me her weight loss goal, and she started describing what she wanted to do, and she was so beat up by life. And that was the first time. Now, this is 25-year-old Chris. This is the first time I was just like, this is not fitness. So I was like, well, what's wrong? I'm trying not to say her name, so hopefully Chris don't say her name. I was like, what's wrong? And she was just like, I want to lose weight. And I was like, what's wrong?
What's really wrong?
And she was just like, I'm just tired of not being able to lose weight. And I was like, what's wrong?
Yes.
And then finally she just breaks out in these tears, and she gives me a hug. And she didn't tell me. The next week, I seen her. We did our boot camp Monday. We did our boot camp Wednesday. And then I met with her again on Friday. And I remember her saying, I'm ready to tell you. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And she's like, it's more than just losing weight.
Yes.
And I was like, I know. Talk to your boy. I'm feeling like I'm doing something.
Yes.
And she said, that day you text me, I was going to take my life.
Yes.
And it shook me. Because, like, I'm going to connect with somebody.
Yes.
As an individual that is a fitness coach, we don't want to feel like that's a huge responsibility.
Yes.
And I was like, yo, like, we need to go see somebody. And she was like, I am, but I wanted you to know that the reason why I didn't take my life was because you actually text me back when I was texting. And like, as a coach, you're like, I didn't know. I was just, I was just responding. And that's when I knew that was in, 2010, 2011. That was a year before my mother, right? So I knew then, I was like, okay, my angle is not going to be the swollest trainer. That's not my angle. My angle is going to be to impact people.
Yeah.
And so this is the second time where I've been able to sit with someone and hear that. And, again, I'm not here to say, hey, we're the people that stop that and prevent that. And, like, look, we're winging it. But what we will do is love. What we will do is empower. What we will do is give you our best when we have the opportunity to. So that's just, when I hear that, man, mental health is one of the things that I think sometimes now is being highlighted. But for decades, it wasn't highlighted, especially as a man, especially in our culture that I grew up in, is not highlighted. It's almost seemed weak. And so now to be able to openly have a dialogue about that and be confident in telling people like, man, look, Chris don't know, but what Chris will do is love. What me and Green will do is love. So, T, man, that's brave.
Well, yeah,
and I'm
and
proud
after
of you.
all of that, once Jared did all of that, I went and actually saw somebody.
So you weren't seeing nobody prior?
No.
Okay.
I had a counselor, but I was like, I know I need something else. And then that's when I was diagnosed with like PTSD, OCD, anxiety, depression, maladaptive daydreaming. I disassociate, like all kind of things. But for me, I was so happy to finally have that diagnosis because I was like, I know there's something wrong with me. Something ain't right. And so for them to actually had that experience never happened, I never would have went to seek that further help and to figure out what was actually wrong with me so that I could start to treat it. So that's why sometimes I'll tell Jared, I'll be like, give me a little grace, Jared. Don't be putting me in a one-size-fits-all because I got my own issues. I'm trying.
You're doing
and that's
it.
Why,
You're doing it. All right, JG. So
I'm usually a lot more talkative, I know, y'all. But same thing you said. That was your first time hearing this story. That was my first time hearing all of this,
oh,
too.
really?
So,
I didn't know that.
The shook feeling you got, like,
I'm shook.
Y'all live right now, with that feeling. So, yeah.
When I told you, Jared, when Jared called to ask me to come on or whatever, I said, "Ooh, child, I'm coming on the Mean Green show." And I told you, I said, "Get your tissue, Jared."
I thought you was talking about them, not me.
I said, "Get your tissue," because I knew, I was like, I don't know where the conversation is going to go, but if I am able to tell this testimony, and there it is.
Absolutely. And it's awesome, man. Like, kind of like what Jason Miller did as we finished the year up, when he was open about what he's dealt with.
Yeah.
Man, those stories is the percentage of life for us to win is very low. If you really think about life, like to go to elementary school and then to actually go to college, there's a certain percentage of people that actually go to college. Then there's a certain percentage of people that actually get into a career. Then there's a certain percentage of people that actually stay consistent in their career. There's a certain percentage of people, like, as you continue to elevate in life, the percentages of that person is actually getting lower and lower and lower. So when I see people like this, Jared interviewed me the other day or a couple months ago about a philosophy that I had with Mean Green. I just love seeing people win. So, like, people can come to me and talk about programming all they want, T and Jared. They can talk about what's the next trend in fitness. Like, yeah, I get all that. I pay attention to it. But what's most important to me is seeing people freaking win.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing. That's what I've seen Jason and countless others do. And the cool thing about it, some people are open enough to be transparent and tell you.
Yes.
Then there's some that don't know or they won't explore publicly, right? And I just want that person to know, man, you're not alone. You're not alone. The same pain, the same frustration, the same uncomfortable feeling that you feel, somebody probably goes through it. But that's the beauty of going to boot camp, going to gyms where you have a community.
Yes.
The thing with Spot, where we're at 18, 17, and 16, 17 might be dealing with something. 16 may be dealing with it as well as 18. But when you're going as hard as you can or giving your best, it's something positive about that. It's something contagious about giving your best effort and not giving up when the workouts get tough, and then maybe that pours down into being a mother or father or in your career or just living in general. So yeah, man, I'm sorry I've kind of raised my voice on that portion, but Thank you, T.
You're welcome.
That's beautiful, man.
You're welcome.
That's beautiful. All right, I don't even know how to pivot from here. Just to be real.
I'll speak on it a little bit. I think it says a lot to what you've done, because I think a lot of people do go through some of the things you go through, but they close everybody out, right? They don't let anybody in. And you, even if it was just one person, you let somebody have the ability to have an impact.
Yeah.
So I just, because I know, we have thousands of people that train, right, every single day, but they don't have to allow a trainer or workout member next to them to anything that they have going on. So I just think it speaks volumes that you know, even if it's just one person, that opens yourself up to one text message, right? So just speaking to anybody out there, just make sure, like, don't close everybody out. If you're going through something, that's okay, but don't close everybody out. Allow yourself, one person, two people, whatever it is. Allow yourself a community, because by yourself, that's tough. And I've seen people that have closed mostly everybody out in obviously the workout environment. Like, as a trainer, if you see stuff's going on, obviously, I think, we pick up on it. But we're only allowed to help with what you allow us to help with. So I just think that's something I want to focus on there.
I think people now, after hearing and seeing this podcast, T, those random hugs. I hugged somebody. She's pretty new. I think she's like in her 3rd week, maybe 5th. And I seen it in her face last week. And I went to her. I was like, "You good?" And I seen she was about to cry. And I was like, "You don't have to say nothing." I just gave her a hug.
Yeah.
Those moments, man, I hope people with us specifically, that's not in the manual to be a coach, right? But we look for those type of quality people when we bring them on. And, man, just hearing that just gives me confirmation on direction that we're moving forward in with Mean Green. I'm weird, and I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
And the reason why I say I'm weird is that there are things that I look at when I study. So biblically, I'm studying something now where when you – and this is for people with different faiths, right? This is not – I'm not saying the Bible is supposed to be everybody's highway, right? But what I'm going to say here specifically is when I study the Bible – I love seeing the author where they were at when they wrote it, right? So, for example, if you read the book of Psalms, the writer of a lot of the songs that we sing is by a guy named David, same guy that slayed the giant, right? But part of that portion where he wrote it, he was actually in prison. So a lot of things that he was going through, he projected certain things in that scripture, but he actually was in a very uncomfortable position. I said all that to say this portion. When you're at the gym, T, in your past year, those uncomfortable moments, what made you win when you had a bad day or when things wasn't going right or when you had your moment and a Jared or a Milton or somebody came to you and told you to do something and maybe you snapped and maybe you didn't, like, what made you?
I be snapping Jared.
What made you win in that moment? I'm just curious.
Well, really, the gym, because I was in that period, the gym was the only thing that took me out of that depression, because I knew for an hour or 2 hours a day or whatever, like, it would break me. So although I was still in all of that depression and everything, I'd look and be like, oh, it's time for the gym. So when I would go, sometimes I went a little too hard, and because I was trying to really kind of channel all of that energy into something. So there was times my ankles were swollen, my knees was bad, and Jared would be like, just sit yourself down. But I was like, I have to keep going because this is literally pumping life back into me, even though I was crippled because of it. But, it is what it is. And once I knew once I kind of mellowed out, and even my counselor was like, you're just trying to, you're overdoing it right now because you just need to channel all that energy. Once you get that balance, then everything will, ease its way. So just the last year going, and like I said, one of the things that really got me open was the North Side had a challenge. And I was like, well, I'll join. Milton was like, you going to join it, T? I said, I'm going to join it. And so Sadie put me on her team. And from there, I just started to, like, work with people and open myself up, and they were putting me in the text messages and all of that, and I ended up getting 2 awards. I got the Beast and the Maniac Award because I had like 12,000 of them MEPs in one month. In 1 month, yeah. But that was one of the things. That was one of the first things that really got me.
Was that something for you and Sadie? Because if I remember correctly, everybody had like a little draft.
They had a draft,
so
and
how
they
was
had
that
a
when
team.
Sadie drafted you?
Well, and I just really didn't. I didn't know anybody. So when she was like, "T, you on my team," I said, "All right, Sadie, I'm on your team." And that was and it was Cliff, and they would just always just motivate me and push me, and so it made me want to work harder. It made me want to be like, I want to make them proud, and so yeah.
Man, so all those Jared, all those. Give your partner a fist pump. All those, hey, man, tell somebody they smashing the workout.
Nah, I ain't too fond of all that, too, sometimes.
Tell me why. Tell me why. Because I'm going to challenge you. Tell me why.
Why you got to challenge
Because I want to see your reaction.
My thing is I am a very open person in the sense of like, hey, da-da-da. But there's times where when I come and I'm working, I won't be left alone. I won't turn to nobody. I won't say nothing. I don't want a fist bump. Just let me, because I am tortured right now. And all this pain that I'm feeling, I don't want to be bothered.
Right.
So, and even I'd be in church and they'd be like, turn to your neighbor, and I just be straight. I'm not talking to nobody because I didn't come here for that. I came here for what I came here for. So go on, challenge me.
Not a challenge. It's just
go
a question.
Now.
It's a short question. So you said Cliff and others empowered you, Sadie. So sometimes it was just like, hey, great job, right? Or you doing it. Or, yes, you know what I'm doing. So what happens if the new person that is intimidated from the gym, they just joined, and they look up to you because they heard your story and they're proud of you. But you're the one that turned to spot 15 and said, Jared, you're doing a good job. What if that's the thing that make them push or don't give up? Or
I tries to motivate the people now. You know what I'm saying? I think I do a good job now of trying to open myself up and be like, good job, friend. Or, you know, so ever since I got a little chance, I sub sometimes.
Yeah,
so
because we're going to go there.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going
Baby, y'all is exposing it all.
Show.
Oh, no.
I just feel so naked and vulnerable. Mean Green Show. Oh.
No, see, that's awesome.
Yes.
Man. That's awesome.
But I got you. But I'm better. That was the old me. I'm better now. I talks to the people now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you talk to the people. She was at a point where she used to have the headphones on.
Really?
She was zone out. She would get boot camp, headphones on, not talk to nobody.
And we would have parking spots, and I'd be like 5 parking spots down, and everybody be down there. I did not want to be bothered. I did not want to be bothered.
She part of the boot camp.
Because
who just like to come and work out with us?
I would go jog and run around, and then I'd come up to the workouts. Yeah, child.
You ever seen, was it Bridezilla? What's the Bride movie? They getting married or something?
Bridesmaid.
And he had that one guy in the park.
Yeah. He doing the stretches in the back.
He doing the stretches in the back. It's only $8. You can join. That was T over there on the side.
That was my own world. Okay.
Okay, so let's go here. So
let's go.
Now we hear your empowering story, and it's very encouraging. Now you've grown to a trust factor of Jared, where he's like, there's moments where life happens.
You trust me, Jared?
You trust her, Jared?
I trust you.
All right.
Oh, Jared Garcia.
So there's moments where he goes out of town or needs to do something, and he calls on you to sub. What is that like now, having a group of people to listen to you?
Oh, yeah, that karma done caught up with me. That karma done caught up. Hush, Dad, I'm going to tell you. The karma caught up with me. I am a very loyal person, and I only stick with what I know and who I know.
Okay.
So when Jared first started coming to Mean Green and all that, and Milton be like, you should try Jared's class. I said, I don't know him.
Oh, because
I don't know him. Milton is and so I never would try anybody new. So anytime Jared would not be there, I would unreserved.
Yeah.
Because I don't boop, boop.
Yeah.
And one day I had put up I thought it was a funny post on Facebook, and he just was looking for Astros tickets. So I was like, oh, he must not be trying to be at boot camp. So I put up a little meme where the lady was like doing like this, like, and check off.
And what happened? I text
him. Jared Garcia was,
he wasn't having it.
Ooh, he was.
Was it that?
It was bad, y'all. It was bad. And then later that day, the Northside Gym, they had like this big 80s event, ladies' night and all that. And I had looked down, I had a message from Jared Garcia, and I went outside to listen to it. And he was like, first of all, I said, oh,
Jared got your feeling like that. I didn't hit it like that.
I literally clipped that message off, and then I sat in my car, and I cried, and I had my little 80s on, my little hair was to the side, and I went on home, and I cried. And then I called Erica, and I said, Jared he just doesn't understand I have mental health issues, and da-da-da-da-da. And I wasn't trying to say, but his point was, this is a business. And if you put that up, then other people are going to see that you're not coming, and then they're not going to come, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but I didn't mean it in that way. And I just wanted him to understand that I was not trying to sabotage his business. I just was trying to just be funny and make a light joke.
Right.
But it hurt my feelings, and I cried and cried. And then the next day, I had to look myself in the mirror. I said, he is 27. He is not going to make me cry. He's not going to have that kind of power over me. And that was that. And so baby, we went a long time. I didn't talk to him at all.
Yeah.
And then I ran a 10K, and I had on my little marathon shirt. So instead of him just coming to talk to me and be like, hey, T,
Right.
let's just talk, I walk by, and he going to say, I didn't get to tell you congratulations on this.
Yeah.
Instead of just, I said, get your hands on me. I don't want you touching me. So, but now that I'm in that position, and now where certain days I have to sub and the people don't want to be in my class, I be feeling sad. I text Jared all the time, like, I am so sorry. I didn't know. I apologize.
Got my nose running.
If I was like that, Jared, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Because that karma came right back on me.
Yeah.
It came right back on me, and quick. So now I understand.
Now
I
you
apologize.
understand. She understands.
Because it hurt my feelings when they don't want to come and be in the class. I'll be like, I'm fine too,
Yeah.
y'all.
Because you prepare for it. You care about it.
And that's the thing. You prepare for it, you work for it, and you get there, and then don't nobody want to be in your class like, oh, it's her, or they don't show up. And it's like, I did all this.
Yeah.
I could have been watching Good Times or something. You
Good
know?
times.
Now, mind you, let me disclaimer, because I know some of the North Side is watching right now. She is not saying that is exactly what y'all do, but sometimes that is how you feel.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, that's how I feel.
Respect. I've done it where I had to sub in for like Alex or somebody in a later class, and then I look at the rosters like, yo, like
Unreserved.
like, hold on, I'm all right at this. You know what I mean? Like, but it's interesting now that sometimes you sub in, and the empowering factor that you receive from a Milton or Jared, is that something you concentrate on when you look at people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now when I'm subbing, I try to, find those words to keep them going, to keep them motivated. The stuff that I would roll my eyes at and do ungodly things to Jared behind his back, little, Jared Garcia. Now I don't want them to do those things to me, but it is one of those things where it's like, come on, you are almost there. We only got 5 minutes left, and then come on, let's get it. So, I done reap what I sowed, child.
Reap what you sow.
Jared,
Oh, you just happy about it, huh? Ooh,
It's nice hearing
he
it.
is so raggedy, y'all. He's so raggedy.
I just think it's so cool to hear that side of it. I think it's cool. So let's do this, because
Let me get this part
honestly,
started.
your stories, this has just been amazing. We can really drop the mic and go on. But we know you have questions. So go ahead and bring out the questions that you may have for Jared or myself.
Child.
Before you get to that, I saw your story.
What
So
story
she
you saw?
said on her page, I'm going to talk so long that we missed that segment.
I
can
know
talk so we don't have to get to the
That was the
question.
plan.
Yeah,
I
that's how we
literally,
gonna
I'm
get to the
gonna
questions.
talk so much to where we ain't got no time left for this.
See,
Because I ain't
you
got
too
no
funny.
You almost got there.
Well, and my thing was, I kept telling Jerry, I was like, why I got to ask y'all questions?
Well, you don't have to.
If I'm the guest.
You don't have to.
I don't come in y'all house and and y'all make me clean up and things there. You don't do that.
That
to
would be
guests.
nice, though.
But I ain't gonna
I
do
would,
that.
I would, I would receive it.
But and then also it was so hard to find questions because people had already asked the questions
I guess
that I
that would
wanted
be
to ask.
tough.
You
They
know what
have
I'm
asked a lot.
saying? And literally, like the only question that came to mind, that this is a true story, y'all. First question I was gonna be like, Teddy Pendergrass or Luther Vandross, who y'all think would win in the sing-off? That was the only. You said Teddy P.
Teddy. Turn him off.
I just
Jared.
love Luther, so I got to go Luther. I'm sorry.
You know who Luther is, Jared?
Excuse me?
Because you know you. I want to, real fast before I get to these questions. Where's my camera? I want to talk about
love
Jared
music.
Garcia and his youth, okay? All the time, Jared be on this podcast and he age shames people, whether he doing it consciously
He does,
or
don't
not.
he?
Yes,
He
he
does.
does. He will bring up every moment that he can that he is 27 years old. He will bring up that he is young. It does not
Give me
matter.
the comments.
How y'all getting on me on the podcast?
If y'all will
Come on,
literally
y'all.
take a shot every time Jared mentions his age, you will be
Be
drunk
sober.
as
Be
a skunk
sober.
by the end of the podcast. Because that's all he
Look at me
do.
like-
He gonna let you know, I'm 27. I'm 27. But I want him to know the birth certificate say 27, but his knees are about 72.
Come on,
His
T.
knees is trash, right? Young. We know he's young, right? He's young, pretty young thing, fine, supple. We know that. But the knees
Oh
is
my
old.
God.
The knees, they collect Social Security. The knees collect pension. His knees have a body count of their own. His knees are old.
I did not
His
sign up to
knees
get
are old.
roasted
His
on the
knees are old.
podcast.
Because we always like, I'm 27. I'm 27. We know you 27.
Go.
His knees have their own body count. The knees is old.
We
The
went
knees
from
say, stay
prime
off
to
my
our
grave.
chin. Our
I
chins
told
and-
Them
you,
knees old.
roasted
I
me
just
on
want
the
to let him know
podcast.
that.
My cheekbones hurt, y'all.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to avenge Milton too. That podcast, y'all had Dame on here. Hey, Dame. That podcast, y'all had Dame on here. And y'all kept Milton old self. Milton old self. I said, no, they didn't. Dame, you are almost 30. And you, sir,
Hey,
sir,
we probably the same
your
age.
30s are not on time. They are late. Late 30s. Late. So Milton, I have avenged you. They're not gonna be on this podcast talking all that stuff
Shout
about
out
your
to
business.
Milton.
Not on my watch.
Shout out to Milton.
Shout out to
Like
Bill.
they some spring chickens. Not today. Okay, I have questions.
All right.
Y'all ready?
Oh my
Is
goodness.
people ready?
I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready.
Y'all ready? Okay.
Ooh, this has been the first time
So-
for everything on this podcast.
So I did put up a post. I could not think of questions for people
Oh,
and
my
for
goodness.
them. So I put up a post. I said, y'all send in questions. So we got some people to send in questions. And as they sent in questions, then I started thinking of questions. So you're getting a mixture of some of my questions, some of the others. But at the end of the day, y'all can try to figure out which question was mine, which question was somebody else's.
All right.
Well, let's get this party started. Question number 1 that came in for Jared Garcia.
Oh, specific. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Question number 1. Y'all want me to look at the camera or look at the people?
No, it don't
Y'all want
matter.
me? Question number 1 for Jared. Boxers, briefs,
Oh my goodness.
or do you let that baby leg breathe?
Let that baby leg breathe.
Can we do that? Yeah, zoom.
He said he let that baby leg breathe.
So,
He said he let that baby leg breathe.
Erica knows. She said when she see this right here, she know I ain't got no underwear on.
He let that baby leg breathe, y'all. Yeah.
Do that again. What he do? What he do that
He
again?
lets that baby leg breathe. And can I, speaking of legs, I want to say something real fast about legs. So this is about, we on the topic of legs.
This is the best show ever.
So I was working out, y'all. I was working out. And Jared told me that I had one leg that was bigger than the other leg.
Okay.
Because I guess I would lean to one side when I worked out. So one day, I had the camera like set up so I could watch my form because y'all ain't got no mirrors in here. If y'all had mirrors, I could check my form. But I had the camera set up and I was doing it wrong.
my
Some
goodness.
stupid barbell stuff. I hate the barbell.
Me too.
I have a question in there
Okay.
I hate it. But some stupid stuff. I was doing it wrong. So Jared came and said, T, put the bar down. I want you to let's just practice. Jared, I call them coochie cutters, but I don't know what the proper term is for them shorts. And they were gray. And so Jared said, he said, T, what you want to do is you want to take the bar and you want to thrust. And that's what he did. And I, you know, I lives for God, so I wasn't just trying to just stare, nothing like that. So I had turned because I didn't want, you know, ungodly images in my eyeballs.
I want to see the comment
And so
section.
he literally was like, you got to see, and there is video footage of me like looking side-eye like I don't want to look at it because
Can you zoom up on that,
every
please?
time,
Do it one more time. What was your, what did
Jared
you
would
do?
go, T, you got to thrust. you want to thrust. And every time he would do that, it would wink at me. It would wink at me. And I would wink back at it. I said, okay, Jared, I got you. And I picked that bar up, baby. I was gone. I was thrusting for Jared. I was thrusting for Jared. I sure was. That is a true story. He had them shorts on, yeah, and they were short. He said, T, you want to thrust. And I know them other people in the gym was like, what was they doing? Because I said, like this, Jerry, like this. And Jerry said, T, you got to, your hips is closed. Open your hips, T. I said, baby, you ain't said nothing but a word.
All right.
You ain't said nothing but a word.
That's it. We're done.
But I will say, that baby leg was breathing that day, baby. That baby leg was out.
Hey,
there we go.
Hey, Jerry.
But I ain't going to talk about that because I live for God. Go ahead.
That's all I got.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't get to the question. That was just question number one.
She didn't got her jacket off. It got hot.
That was question number one.
Oh, man.
That was question number one.
Question number 2 for Chris.
Shout out to Faboletics. Shout out to Faboletics. We need some sponsorships.
Okay. How much time I got, y'all? Because I do have a couple of questions. The people did send us some questions. I got a little time.
Oh, man. I love that.
Okay. Now, this is a question about.
I'm good. Let's go.
Okay, y'all ready? Okay, this is a question about regret.
Okay.
Is there something, it could be childhood, later in life, whatever. Is there something that you regret, and what lesson did you learn from it?
I got to go first?
Who would you like to go first?
She just asked me a question.
Oh, I did just ask Jerry the question.
Okay. Regret. Regret. A lot of different regrets in different areas. What? Fitness, business, personal?
Anything. What's one that just automatically, when you hear it, it just snaps, and you're like, oh, that's a big regret?
I would say basketball. To this day, when I dream, it still takes me to high school for some reason. Like I don't dream of college or semi-pro or being a dad. Like it still takes me to the 16-year-old Chris. I think one of my biggest regrets with sports and basketball, if I can go back in time, I wish I would have enjoyed the moment more as a 16-year-old versus what college am I going to go to, or who am I getting recruited by, or I wish I can go back and just enjoy being a high school student. And the lesson that I've learned from that is to pass it forward. Because it's funny that I tell people now, the little kids that I get to coach, man, I remember when I was your age. And I remember coaches telling me that, like, hey, man, like, enjoy now. I remember hearing that. So my biggest regret would be go back and be a kid. And how do I learn from that? Pass it forward. Tell my boys and tell anybody else that would listen.
Good.
For me, sticking with sports because that's the only one. I guess you wish you could go back and do something different. Personally, regret. Y'all seen that movie? What is it? Meet the Millers or something like that? Yeah. When the dude had no regrets tattooed on his chest. No regrets. I actually would. That's like if I got a tattoo, that's something I would get tattooed on myself because I really don't regret things that I do, even if it's bad. And I know some people have been part of bad moments in my life, and they're like, really? No, I don't really regret because I feel like everything that I've done and everything that I, whether it be good or bad, it shaped me to be who I am. So had I not done it, I wouldn't be who I am. And I'm proud of who I am, right? So I don't really regret the things that I've done. But if I could go back and change something sports-wise, in college, I went to a small school. I was kind of a big recruit for that school. So when it came to playing, I got there, I played my first spring, I was starting. Through all 4 years, it was like he's the starter. So I didn't really have anybody that came in and pushed me and threatened me for not to be in that starting spot. So because of that, I got comfortable. And I didn't push myself the way I should have throughout my first year, second year, and I worked my butt off. Obviously, I had to work harder than everybody else to begin with just to be on the same playing field because of my knee. But after that, I was cool. I was like, cool, I'm on the same playing field. We're good. Yeah. And that's because there was never you might lose your spot. There was never, we're recruiting somebody that might come in and take. There was never that threat of competition. But I know that I thrive off of competition. Yes. So, but for me, like I said, if I could go back, I would find a way to make a competition in my head some kind of way, right? Yeah. To push myself, to self-motivate, to push myself harder. But that would be my biggest one.
Good question.
Yes.
Good question. Good answer.
Yes. That was questions about regret, y'all. Okay. Has there been an episode of the Mean Green Show that you feel wasn't the best episode or didn't land the way you wanted it to?
Absolutely.
Which one? Let me see if it's the same one I picked.
I wouldn't. I would say not from a standpoint of verbiage or communication, but more so the things that happen before getting on camera. The lights, the cameras, the batteries being charged, the mic. It was one episode we literally had to wing it when it came to the audio. We had to, not to bore people out, but there's a device that connects all the mics, and that device, the 4 mic connections, 2 of them went out, but we had 4 guests on, so we had to get another one connected, and somehow it worked out. But those shows, it bothers me as I'm speaking, like, crap, that could have been better. Or I guess when they got here, it could have been smoother. So I can't say a specific one because I don't know which one it was. But like you got one in mind.
Can I tell one that was not my favorite?
Which one?
I did not like the Mexico should you disconnect episode. I did not, and I literally, y'all will probably go delete my comment that I had left on YouTube 6 months ago. I said, this video caused me anxiety, and afterwards I disassociated a break in how the mind handles information for almost an hour. No bueno.
Why?
Because that episode was all over. Look at the bird. Tina, bring me a drink. Get this. It was all over the place, and I literally was like getting anxious. Like, oh God!
That bird was aggressive though.
He was, look at the bird, y'all. Tina, where my drink? I said it's too much. It was too much going on.
We had coconut drinks around us.
It was too much.
Just a good time. We was in Mexico.
Too much.
It was hard to get that show going because remember we had to get them to turn the electricity on.
That was our toughest one that we had.
Well, yeah, I should have recorded before or waited till you came back. I didn't. That was my least favorite. I disconnected from the podcast. The episode was about disconnecting. After that, I didn't watch.
Like, we really thought that was gonna be a good one though. We scheduled that out 6 weeks in advance.
We did. We kind of schemed the whole series around that trip.
Yeah, we did.
I'm trying to think. I couldn't remember the feedback.
Well, what made me was when you just was like, I don't believe in disconnecting. And give me the hate. And I just was like, what does he mean? Like,
I think that was the debate, though.
It just drove me crazy because I was like, everybody disconnects, though. And I literally was in the live chat like, Jesus could disconnect. If Jesus would disconnect and go up to a mountain to get away, everybody disconnect. I don't believe.
I don't. To this day, I still don't.
I got my anxiety pills. I'm not just to do this with you today. Y'all got time for tomorrow?
Yeah. What you got? This is
let
awesome.
me get started. Okay. I was going to ask about the barbell, but I don't.
What you got?
I said, why so much? This is an anonymous question. Why so much barbell?
This is the one not from you.
This is not for me. I don't know who sent this question.
This is anonymous.
Somebody said, why so much barbell? Back in the day, we used to have like the hit. It was 2 different classes, and I understand. Maybe the people wanted the others. I get it. But I worry about, somebody else worries about, whoever sent this question in, the sustainability and the longevity of all of the barbell stuff. And for me, I don't care if I'm in my 40s and I can do it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
So will there ever be a point later on or whatever where y'all may go back to offering a class that's a hit class that's like how it used to be where we would rotate sitters and different? Is that something ever on the horizon? Because I just worry it. Somebody just worries about the longevity and the sustainability of all that barbell work.
I think that's such a great question to ask.
Thank you. To whoever sent that question in.
And to that person, thanks.
To that person, yes.
But what I will say, I'm never, and Jared's been helping with the programming, I'm never against not doing anything for the future. I think a lot of people that's been here over a year or two have seen the transition of a lot of movements we do with the barbell. So you don't see a lot of things over the head doing squats of that measure. But I do like the barbell for several reasons, right? So, Jared, I'll let you pick up on why we like the barbell maybe.
What is a modification for that person that sent this question in that don't want to do that barbell?
You can modify every barbell movement to dumbbells. Every single last one.
Or body weight.
Or body weight, correct. So.
Okay. Hopefully the trainers will help that person when it comes time to do those.
Well, let me ask you this, right? If the barbell is a safe measure of movement.
It's not safe for that person because they pull muscles and things in their backs.
Well, what would you do? What's the difference between doing a deadlift with a barbell and a deadlift with a set of dumbbells.
I don't know. I haven't tried it. I mean, that person hadn't tried it. I don't know. I don't know.
So let me talk to you. Hopefully, I don't bore y'all with the science from a stability standpoint, right?
Okay.
So
I can't lift it, Jared. The person can't lift it, Jared. The person can't lift that barbell.
You can. It depends on what you put on her. But
y'all got to see her work out. She's a monster.
The dumbbells are referred to as free weights.
Okay.
Right? Because they're free. Like you can move one, you can work one side of
Yes.
your body, which isometric work, so one side versus the other, is beneficial in strength gain, right? That's something we want to do. Barbell is not as free, right? Because your weights are on both sides. You're controlling with both sides of the body whenever you're using that barbell. So even on a squat, both sides. Deadlift, both sides. So you can do it with dumbbells, don't get me wrong, but you're limited on weight. You can't go very heavy on weight. With squats, are you going to put
She ain't liking our answer.
50, 60, 70-pound dumbbells on your shoulder so you can get bigger quads, so you can tone up those quads? You're not going to be able to. That's why that barbell is so vital and important to a strength
She ain't feeling
and conditioning gym.
She ain't feeling it. And part B of your question, and part B, the difference of the classes. So the reason why we collide a lot of the movements in one class is not necessarily because I used to like having different classes, but when somebody would take, for example, the Maniac at 4 p.m. and then the Beast was at 5, the person that couldn't make the 4 p.m. would have to wait almost 2 hours or 2.5 hours to take the next class. And that was the biggest thing. People would want to do a class, and they'd be like, man, Chris, I can't do the 9 o'clock, or excuse me, 8 o'clock at night. I want to do the 5 o'clock. So that's why I made every hour.
I do want to there are gyms, and I do want to recognize this. There are gyms that have that. They have a split program, right?
Yeah.
Barbell is included, so like a strength program, and then no barbell, like kind of like how we have the Maniac and the Beast.
I hate the barbell.
And they have schedules out for stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's important for everybody to know we're growing and evolving gyms still.
Absolutely.
So it's not like that's not in the future or could be potential there. So
Just saying. Let's see. I had a question from somebody whose name rhymes with Maven.
oh my God.
This person sent in a question, and I'm trying to. Okay, the question was, and this is from somebody named Maven. Where is the husband material at this gym? If we spend most of our time here at this, I got you, Maven. If we spend most of our time at this gym, 6 days a week, 7 days, whatever, and you know how people be like, oh, you meet your husband, you meet this or that. Where? I got to get on the T camera. Where are? I need somebody that's like-minded, that wants to work out. I tried online dating for a little bit, and what I started to notice was in this season of my life, if they didn't work out, I was like, I just kept boop, 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 as if I could be picky child at this age. But still, I'm just saying, I get it where some people say, well, they don't really like group training or this or that, but how can we as a collective come together to bring in some Black Samoan men into this gym?
Samoan? You didn't get real specific.
Baby, you know I loves me a Samoan man, baby. Black and Samoan the rock.
So I would love to have him a part of our.
I'd love him to have a part.
I would love to have him a part of our program.
I'd love him to be a part
I think you did what you needed to do right then. I think. I think closed mouths don't get fed. Closed
mouths don't get.
Then she gonna put that thigh out there.
Hi, my name is T. I am an Aquarian. I like long walks and things of that nature. If you like to run and have fun, come and meet me at the Mean Green Gym. You can find me at Herman Park, at the Northside Gym, and at Ridge Creek Elementary. Come on over and let's do some free weights together.
That right there. Let's cut it and let's send that to a late night infomercial channel.
We sending that somewhere.
True story. My high school basketball coach told me, she was like, you have like one of those 1-900, 1-800 voices. That's what she told me, because she was like, you have like this sultry kind of voice, which was totally inappropriate now that I think about it. But that's what she told me. You have that 900 voice, like, hey, big boy.
That big boy.
That's what she told me.
Big boy.
Hey, big boy.
Yo, we have to make that a snippet and put it somewhere. I don't know where we're going to put that, but we're going to use that. We're going to use that.
Hey, big boys.
Do the wink again so they can see it.
Hey, big boys with the baby legs. How are you doing
The
today?
baby legs.
With them baby legs. With them baby legs.
The comment section got to be off the chain right now.
That's what's got to be the most
Little
common.
Johnson baby lotion on the baby leg, okay? I live for God.
Oh my God.
Y'all got some more questions?
What you got? What you got? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Did we didn't even answer that question.
Yeah, so how can we as a collective come together to bring some testosterone up in this gym for these single ladies? Erica has a question. Handsome. Now they got to have a little handsome men.
Well,
we want some little eye candy. We
I
need some eye candy.
I don't know the
child.
solution, but same thing I said with you. If it weren't for me being a trainer within Mean Green, personally, I don't know that I'm doing group training, right?
Got it.
Same thing.
Okay.
That's why this gym is so woman
dominant.
Yeah, it's a woman dominated space. Not to say men don't come.
Yeah.
But to say it's
where the men at?
a
Them
pool
the gyms I
of
want to go to, G.
Right.
Where the men at?
Well, some men don't. Honestly, just to be real, like
Be
some
real
men
with
don't
me.
want to listen to another dude
that's
tell them what to do.
that's what it is.
So I will say this: if Jared or Milton joined the gym and they told me they liked it, I would go try it out.
Okay.
So I think that's why we have the men that we have, because somebody gave it a chance and then said it
Yes.
X, Y, Z. But I will say this: there are some awesome single people that are in boot camps in both gyms. Ray, yeah.
Are they coming to? I didn't
Oh,
say
was it
Raven. I said her name was Maven.
Maven.
Her name was Maven.
Maven with an M.
Maven with him.
When we at the Mean Green party, if you're a single dude,
Well, that's what we was trying to see. Who all was gonna be at the party?
We don't know.
Boom. So
Yeah, people will be at the party if you invite people to come to the party, Jared.
So what we do is have events.
Okay. I'm
so
just saying.
shoot the shot. That's what I'm saying.
Shoot the shot.
Maybe you can help us.
The party gonna be off the chain.
Maybe y'all can help us start forming some events.
The party gonna be off the chain.
Yes, we love a little singles mix or some child or something. What? We'll talk off camera.
All right, next question.
Okay. Oh, this one's for Jared. Jared,
Lord.
who is your favorite client and why is it T?
This one here.
I don't know who sent that in. Oh my God! Somebody wanted to know. Look at Erica over there getting upset. Why is it? Look at her getting. She done took the camera off of her. She getting upset, child. Why is me, Jared? Go on.
Oh, we in court, huh?
Go on.
Y'all seen that episode of Dave Chappelle?
Why is me, Jared? He 1, 2, 3, 4.
I plead the fifth.
He pleads. He is so raggedy. Now I do have real questions though. I have some real questions. Somebody wanted to know, what are 3 tips for improving endurance?
Oh man. Get some handsome men.
Get some handsome men, baby. What motivates you? Thirst, lust. That's what motivates me. Thirstiness and lust.
Men, no draws.
Woo, no draws. Simone.
All right, I'm sorry. All right, so 3. What was it? 3 ways to get better.
What they say?
improve
They say
endurance.
the Samoan men keep you Simoning. You Simoning. That's what they say. That's what they say.
That is not what they say.
They do say that.
Oh, I ain't
Somebody in the comment section.
Samoan men keep you Simoning. Okay.
When we say
so,
raw and uncut, this is the most.
Jerry goes, and y'all better not cut out none of my
Nothing.
stuff. Oh, okay.
Nothing said it.
What are 3 tips for improving endurance? And that's just strictly about fitness.
Fitness.
Nothing else.
You want to go 1, 2, 3?
That's fine.
All right. 2, 3. You. I start 1. Number 1, I would definitely say you have to elevate your heart rate.
Okay.
So the higher you elevate it and the longer you keep it there, the more you can improve that endurance. So that would be number 1.
Number 1.
Number 2, do more than you did yesterday. So if you did a 100-meter run and you had to tap out, do a 100-meter and another step. Always do more.
Do more than the day before. Good tip.
And then 3.
Is that the way it goes? 2, 3. Remember I said it? 1, 2, 3.
Number 3. Do what you can when you can. Nothing more, nothing less. I think sometimes people think they have to stay on a certain schedule where they have to run once a day or twice a day or 3 times a day. Like if Monday's a good day for you to do it, you do it. But days that your body tell you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. I think that's how you perform to get better.
Who are you talking to?
I want to focus on real quick people with my zones. Right, I feel like this is a good time to hit on that.
He is so raggedy. He talking about me, y'all.
I'm
Don't
not.
say my name, Jared.
I'm not. A lot of the times when y'all in the gym, sometimes y'all look at that screen.
Yeah, I do. It's me.
Conviction.
It's me.
You look at the screen and you see red, right? And you're like, yeah, I'm working hard.
That's a good point, Drew.
And that's great. But all you're doing is improving endurance. If you're hearing your goal is to lose weight and you see yourself in that red and staying there, you're not in the weight loss zone.
You're in that blue and green.
Yeah, it's blue-green. So when it comes
What about when I be in the gray, Jared? What I got to do?
well, if it's not reading properly, you might be in the gray.
I be in
But
gray all the
obviously,
time.
gray. You want to get yourself in the blue and the green.
Yeah.
Got it.
Preferably green. If you could do a whole workout in the green every single time you do it,
Yeah.
that is perfect for
And
weight
that's why
loss.
we like coaching off of that. So blue and green, for those that don't have one, is 60 to 80% of your heart rate.
60 days.
And sometimes, as Jared said, if you're over 80%, it's cool if you're training to be in peak performance. You're training for the beast mode game. You're training for something that you need to know how to move and breathe while your heart is elevated that high.
Yes.
But if you're here to drop body fat, that's not
Which
the
is
best
what
zone
we
to
want.
be in the whole time. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, Jared.
Just there's always a disconnect there. People be like, I'm not losing no weight, but I'm always in that red. Exactly. You probably in really good shape. You
shape.
probably walk up them stairs without breathing hard now, but it's not for weight loss. Different zones.
We should touch on
You
that.
should have told me
in the
that
future.
a long time ago.
On
I would
how to
not have
train,
done
how to
that. Yeah.
stay in that zone. We should touch
Yes,
that.
that is a good.
I'm gonna write
There
that
you
down.
go.
I'm gonna write that down.
You welcome. Okay. I love this question that came in. How do you balance pushing your limits and protecting yourself from injuries? I love that question. And then I piggybacked on that and I said, how do you help a person then who's stagnant about pushing themselves because of past injuries? Because I never would like to put any pressure on my knees because I've torn my
Yeah.
ACL 4 times. And so I wouldn't want to do. So first question is, how do you balance pushing yourself
question, man.
and protecting yourself from injuries?
All right, you want the first one or the second one?
I think the second one.
So one more time, I just want to make sure I answer correctly.
So how do you balance pushing your limits and protecting yourself from injuries?
I think everybody's different first and foremost,
Mhm.
so you definitely have to take that in consideration. But one thing that I personally do and teach is listening to your body. Your body will tell you when and when not to do it. But to give you a specific example, to be clear, if your goal is to lose fat and put on muscle, for example, and the workout says that guys need to be at 135. Sometimes we'll say deadlift 135 and girls 95.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you have to use that weight. That
And I
means
don't.
that's the recommended weight, but work your way to challenge yourself where you can get as close as you can.
As close as you
right?
can.
But being able to do it without pain. So at the age that I am now, I just believe that I want to move without pain. I want to wake up
Ooh,
without pain.
Yes.
So you can't train in pain.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying you can't train in discomfort. I'm not saying you can't train when you're fatigued. I'm saying you shouldn't train during pain.
During pain.
If my back locks up and
Ooh.
I feel like it's about to lock up, but I'm like, I got to do this deadlift, Jared.
Yes.
Ugh. Like, yeah, do that dumb deadlift, and then you're going to be in a
Oh.
stupid lockup. But if you say, hey, man, my back is tightened, I feel it, why do a deadlift?
I tell Jared that, and he think I'm just trying to get out of the workout.
Oh, no.
Jared, you know, I be like, Jared, my knees, Jared. I got arthritis. And he like,
Look, I got arthritis. That's what you said.
I have double arthritis, Jared.
What was I know. What was the second part of the question I was supposed to answer?
How do you help, and this is specifically me, how do you help a person who's stagnant about pushing themselves because of past injuries? So they have that muscle memory where that PTSD or that trauma, and they don't want to push themselves because they're
Good
scared.
question.
So I'm glad you asked me this because obviously
Good question.
experiencing that, right? So there's a reason sports psychology is a thing, and there's a reason people that go through injuries have to do it to get back on the field to play. Just an example from myself, when I got hurt my first time, it's because somebody rolled into the back of my knee, right? Like I was posting up, and this was basketball, this wasn't even football, but somebody rolled into the back of my knee. Bop. I didn't even know what an ACL was, but boom, it took me out for the season. So that was my first injury. So now basketball, like landing funny or landing on somebody or somebody rolling into the back of me, like that's just stuck.
Ooh, that's
down.
me.
That's stuck in my brain.
Yes.
So I remember playing obviously college football for 4 years, and when they asked me to go to the middle of the field and block somebody, and I knew there was just bodies that were coming up behind me mentally,
Yes.
it took me it probably took me the whole 3 years to like finally get to the point where, okay, I can lock on and try to push somebody knowing that, 260-pound linemen, 240-pound linebackers, all of that stuff was right behind me.
Yes.
So mentally, sometimes you develop a block. But this is the thing that I needed to understand even in that position. If I perform the block the way it's supposed to be performed,
Yes.
I'm not in the way of
You're
injury.
good.
Okay.
If I take that block where it's supposed to go, I'm not in the way of injury. But if I get there, I'm timid, and I'm locked, and I'm stuck in place,
Yes.
boom, then, okay, that's where it can happen, which is typically why, like, I'm giving you guys a lot of sports feedback. If you tear your ACL on your right side, they'll tell you you're more, when you go back on the field, you're more likely to tear it on the other side. And that's because you work so hard, and now you're trying so hard to protect this one that you're using this one as overcompensation, and, it's easier to tear.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
the reason I'm saying all of this is to say you kind of got to push yourself past that. I know you're stagnant because of injury, but there's that fear that's holding you back.
I've
You
done
That's
just gotta
me in the
push.
box, because I just be like, I'm scared to literally like jump up or off that box, because my knee will literally just, and in my head I'm like, I'm gonna jump and it's gonna go out of place. I'm gonna tear my ACL. So I'm
a
still
real
on
thing.
that little box. So I have to overcome.
You got to understand that having that fear actually will injure you more than just saying
Yes,
you can do it.
Jared. I tripped over that back the other day.
'Cause you was
sure-
scared of it.
I sure did.
So I
said,
got a
"Here we
question
go."
for Jared then. If the box is a thing, right, does it have to be a certain height, or is it just overcoming the jump on the box?
I'm a go all in kind of person.
Yeah.
Right? So that's
It needs to be a certain height.
me.
Yeah.
That's me.
I need
But
to let the little one go.
I understand
Yeah.
people have to work their way up. So I've had to do it with Erica before.
Yeah.
She would not jump on a high box.
Yeah.
So we started off with a lower box.
Yeah.
Made a jump. Right? So I understand, like, conquering that in levels.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I think I could jump on a 40-inch box, I'm jumping on that. If I
Right.
miss, I miss. But
Wow.
I'm going for it. So I
That's good.
understand conquering the steps.
I asked that for a reason. For me, I have not sprinted like an all-out 100% sprint
Yes.
since I was about 24.
I don't sprint. I don't be
I
trying
get about
to sprint.
80%.
Yes.
I get about 80% and I stop.
Fear
So
of
like
hamstrings.
my freshman year, my
Yes.
hamstring popped.
Ooh.
So my whole college career I played with it, and then I would say I think I was playing in Albuquerque, and I was running after the ball, and I pulled it.
Oh.
So like now I got to like 80, maybe 85%,
That's
but I have
me.
not tried to all out sprint in probably over 10, 15.
So-
That is me.
Do you stretch?
Stretch, foam roll, all that stuff. I like my PT was telling me, he's like, man, you got to go out there and try it. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna try it, and I start, and I'd be like, yeah, I ain't
not gonna
I ain't
do it.
get
I ain't
paid
gonna
to run
do
today,
that.
so I ain't
Ain't gonna be able to do that
But,
today.
Sorry, selfish moment for me, but I'm sorry. Go ahead with your question.
That's me. I will, JB, pick your knees up to you. Now, baby, I'm gonna try it. I ain't gonna go no full speed, because I'm just scared that it's going to just do things it's not supposed to do.
Yeah.
So we got trauma, Jared.
I'm gonna work on it.
Oh, you got trauma too?
I'm gonna work on
I
it.
guess
trauma
the
too.
thing is you kind of have to see the benefit. So for me, like
Mhm.
there was a benefit in me blocking somebody, getting them out of there, and not hurting myself. For you on a squat or a box jump, you
Mhm.
have to see the benefit. Is this helping me get to where I'm trying to go? For you sprinting, is there a benefit? Is there a reason you have to sprint right now?
All right.
If you don't, you're less likely to push
do
past
it.
that fear. But if there's no real benefit, you're like, whatever.
That's
So
right.
if whatever works for you, then okay.
You got a reason to sprint.
If I see somebody coming to my kids,
Oh, there you
know what I
go.
mean? I sprint then.
There you go.
Beating Jared in the 400-meter run at the gym.
That's all I'm
He
saying.
got it.
So sprints are really good to tone
Absolutely.
that body up, though.
Oh,
So
you ain't
really
saying nothing
good.
but a word, Jared.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be out there. Me and Erica gonna be out there. Me and Erica, I'm gonna try to talk her into being my partner for the Beast Mode games.
Erica
Oh,
back there
I
like,
would pay to see that.
who?
Get her out there.
Me and Erica gonna be partners in the Beast Mode games. If she don't do it, then I sure, baby, ain't doing it. 'Cause that ain't nothing on my bucket list. Okay, well, I'm telling y'all see the people sending all kind of questions,
Ooh,
but y'all
Lord.
just gonna have to call me back on the show.
Yeah, sound like it.
Again, but I'm trying to see if it was one more like really good question. This will be. I'll let y'all go, because
Last
y'all,
one.
I'm supposed to be at work right now. My lunch break done went a little long. I hope they don't watch this. But let's talk real fast about goals.
Okay.
Goals and accountability from the member and from the trainers. Because Mean Green has such a culture of family and just people love to be around other people, there are people that are coming to the gym just for the people now, and not necessarily they're like, well, I'm not hitting my goals, but I'll come just to,
Be around
you
people.
know. And whether the goals is like, so I just want to know, how in tune are we with the goals of the people? Because like me, I'm one of those people where I was very transparent, was like, I don't want to lift that barbell. I don't want to be strong. I want the scale to move. I don't care what, look how you're clothed. Mills will be like, look how you're clothed. I don't want to hear that. I want weight loss.
Yeah.
I want the scale. I want this number. And I get it about the scale, yeah, but I know what I look like at a certain number. And so in my head, that's what I want. So how, being that this is group training, how can you make sure that these individuals are reaching said goals, or is the only way for us to do that through PT?
Great question. I think the best option to customize something for you is personal training. 100%, right? So
Jared don't want to train me yet. Like, he's so busy, child.
He's too busy.
He be too busy
But
training, child.
I'm gonna break it down in two facets. So the reason why I say personal training is because there are certain programming things you need from your body, also with nutrition for that specific person. So if something's designed specifically for you, you'll get there a little bit sooner because it's all about you, and then the accountability, right? So if I train a class at 5:15 and it's 25 people in there, I can't focus just on T for accountability and then XYZ, right? So it makes it a little bit more difficult. So personal training is the best option. But in group training, can it happen? Absolutely. I see it all the time. Now, the cool thing about group training, I truly believe that mouths are you're going to have to use that main camera, Erica. I truly believe that mouths that speak are the mouths that are fed. And what I mean by that, you can put camera 2 real quick. Yeah. So what I mean by that is if you knock, it's open, right? So in a group setting, you say you're very transparent about saying, hey, Jared, I need help with this and help with that. For me as a group trainer, if Erica joins my class for the first time, we can send an email out. We can put a challenge together. But until that person says, hey, man, I want to do this for my birthday, boom. Then that trainer, every time they see them, it's kind of like, oh, how are you doing with your success? Or, hey, make sure you get on the Thursday call or whatever it is.
Okay.
So can it be done? Absolutely. But there is some accountability on the member side, too, when it comes to group training, right? So everybody pays a premium number to be a part of our gym, right? It's a group training system that develops you to stay consistent and to be empowered to work out, right? But it's not a group training system that walks you hand by hand with nutrition, with mentality, with accountability. Like, that's a big project. So there's times where we used to have, I think this is before you got here, I used to do something called the Beast Mode Makeover. Erica's done it. It was such a hands-on project, but that hands-on project wasn't that 160 a month, right? Because it was so many steps.
Well, and
that
that was one of the questions that somebody had sent in, was about like that transformation. Because you know what draws my eyeball, I'd be like, look at that transformation. You know what I'm saying? And so there comes a point where people kind of, when you're in a challenge and you know you're going towards a goal and you're taking a before and after, but it really, when you notice, if you look at the Mean Green training page on Instagram, it's like, you know, you see people getting it in. You don't see like the side by side.
Is
there
question,
a reason
Jared.
why y'all don't have that side by side pictures to be like, look at this and look at that?
All right.
I mean, I took my own, child.
I'm gonna roll it out.
Did y'all see my picture I had took?
I see it. Look good. It look good. I'm gonna roll it out. So, Jared, I love your response too. And T, great question. Or whoever asked it.
Whoever asked that question.
So I used to, when we first started out, I used to do a lot of before and after pictures. And the reason why, and I'm saying this respectfully to every single person I know, the reason why I did it was to bring more people to the gym. It was marketing.
Because it draws
It's
you
marketing,
in. Yeah.
right? So if I have a side-by-side of, even when I did my before and after picture, we had so many more people that was more interested in the program because of a before and after picture, and I get that.
The different kind of 10. You talking about that one? Yes, because when you post that video, I said, well, let me message him because that's what I'm looking for.
The thing with that is Mean Green as a brand, I was saying probably in 2013, 14, I started transitioning away from that because I didn't want to be known as a brand that just create before and after pictures. And the reason why is because if T comes, you can get your before and after picture, but how long has T been here, a part of the brand?
Well, that's what would happen. I would lose weight, and I say, Milton, I got it. I'm supposed to go maintain. And, baby, I leave, and then I had to come back because I be done put on weight.
That's it. That's it. So, as funny as that is, it's a reality to it, though, right, Jared? Because at the end of the day,
I would get to my goal, and I'd be like, I got it.
Yeah, if we do a 90-day challenge, with Jared and he gets the six pack and he look good, he goes to his trip, he stops his membership. So my thing, just to be real,
That was me.
my
yeah,
thing
that
is
was me,
for
child.
mentality or even from a standpoint of branding and business,
Yes.
how can our people and why will our people stay here longer? So you look at the Eliza
I get
Drains,
it.
you look at the West Claytons, the people that's been here for a decade, is because they're not here to look a certain way in 90 days. They're here to be empowered. They're here to be
I
consistent.
got
They're
it.
here to be loved. They're here to be fulfilled. You know, we're the church for some people. So my thing with the brand is not to be. Can you get before and after pictures? Absolutely. Can you compete in the marathons? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we more so want to focus on be the empowerment because people will be here longer for that.
Oh, you answered that question, didn't you? I was wondering, you know,
I was
because
gonna.
I thought I was looking a little sexy in my picture. I said, baby, they didn't repost my picture on their page. And
Give me
I
that picture. I'm
was
posting
like,
it today.
I'm going to show post it.
I'm gonna post
send
it
to you.
today.
Jared, you didn't post it on your page either.
Oh Lord.
I'm just saying. Now, if it was somebody else, he'd be. No, I'm just saying. You see how we do.
Here we
Go
go.
ahead, Jared. Go ahead, Jared.
Nah, I was gonna piggyback off what you said, and I have heard and talked to a couple of gyms and programs that operate off of challenges, and hearing them talk about it, their whole purpose, like you said, is for pictures, for marketing, right? So they like, yeah, we wanted to try XYZ, man, that's gonna look really good in those before and after photos whenever they do yada yada yada. So like it wasn't a man, that's gonna work really well for this person, or man, that's gonna work really well for creating good habits, or no, it was that's gonna look really well for these before and after photos. So I feel like especially in those programs, I'm relatively new in the game, so I don't know all of these gyms and how all of them work, but I do know when you focus on a result, you're not focusing on the why. And that's kind of one of the big things that we talked about. So we don't, like you said, I'm glad you said it. We don't want to be a gym that's focused on result. We want to be a gym that's focused on why, which is our empowerment. We want to be able to empower every individual that comes in. So if you're walking through this door like, "Ooh, those pictures look good," just take me there. That's not what this is about.
And you got to be really good. Like I have a friend of mine's, my boy Reg. I call him by
be
name.
over there sometimes.
Yeah, shout out to my guy
I be
Reg.
getting it in.
Yeah, so I think
Hey,
Reg.
Nunu, at Ready C. That's my friend.
Reggie C.
I think my guy Reg does an incredible job of. He's been known for these great transformations, but the key that he does from a standpoint of a brand that he does well, he's not a gym that's ran just on transformations. So they're crap. I said it. Yeah. They're gyms. Trying to word it right. They're gyms. If they only focus on transformation, they go in trouble financially. Because at the end of the day, if I have a program of 100 people that do a 90-day challenge, and then after the 90-day challenge, 90% of them don't sign up, there's trouble. That's number one.
true.
Then number two, how can you keep a staff that gets paid without that recurring billing, right? So I'm kind of going to the business side. But on the standpoint of before and after picture, I think getting back to what I was saying about my boy Reg, he has other programs. It's not
He does.
we are the 90-day. It's like, hey, you have the step, you have his hit, you have the online. So if a gym owner hears this, the encouragement is don't just make your gym based upon before and after pictures. Because at the end of the day, Chris is going to be 25, but eventually he might be 35. He's not worried about before and after pictures. But I am worried about waking up, being confident, being, beating depression, being a good dad, whatever that may be. So that's just my encouragement to those that have those programs.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, guys, this
y'all gonna have to have me back on because I sure had a whole nother slew of questions. But I will end with, what's y'all's favorite Michael Jackson song?
favorite Mike.
Yes.
Jared, you go first.
Ooh.
Pretty Young Thing.
I first of all, I love all Michael songs, and
Yes, that's the answer, Jared.
maybe there's one. I doubt it.
That's
Not
the
really.
answer, Jared. That was the answer. It ain't no
Michael
just one
Jackson.
song.
I like Butterflies.
Oh,
I like Black and White.
yes.
I like yes. I like
Yes.
what else?
I love it, Jared.
PYT.
Oh,
That's my
PYT.
thing. Look.
Yes.
It's one that I play at Bootcamp all the time.
You do play some. Jared will try to
For
put
you.
in a little bit of Michael for
you.
me.
I do.
Want
I
to be
try.
starting
I try.
some.
Wanna
Don't
be
stop till
starting
you get
something.
enough. He played Dirty Diana the other day, and I got a little nasty at boot camp. Go ahead. I did. I had to stop running. I said, yes. What about you? Favorite MJ song?
Favorite MJ song? Man, it takes me back to early '90s. I used to.
Come on with it.
Yeah, my mom used to put the album cover in. Bad. I would go with Bad. That
That's
whole
my favorite era.
She got the
That's
footwork
my
going, y'all.
favorite era. I
album.
love the Bad era.
that whole album, man.
Oh.
But yeah, I would say Bad is probably my childhood song.
Oh, God.
Absolutely. So I go with that one.
Yes, that was me too. I asked some other questions. Y'all gonna have me back?
We gonna have you back.
Absolutely.
We
Y'all
gonna
gonna
have
have
you
me
back.
back?
We gonna
Hey,
have you back.
did y'all enjoy my girl T?
I know what you didn't.
Y'all was in for a treat today. So
know.
I think today's episode is a great example of what Mean Green is. Right? We traveled from the emotional standpoint of, man, I want to cry, to the standpoint of laughter, to the standpoint of
Yes.
growth, to the standpoint of
We touched
being
it all.
family.
Yeah.
And T, you're just a great example of what we desire out of Mean Green.
Yeah.
You know, we want people that are transparent, people that love, and people that make people better. And I think that's the contagious thing in our culture. We're not a culture of people that don't want other people to win. You know, I think you get excited when you see other
Ooh.
people win. So T, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see you win in life first and
Oh,
foremost. And I'm encouraged and excited at the same time to see what you continue to do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jay, you want to take us out?
Yeah, you said it all, man. You said it all.
That's
I think
it.
we hit everything. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this as much as we did.
Yeah. We gave him a show.
For sure.
We gave y'all a show.
I don't know if it's we. She
Tell
gave
us
y'all
to-
a show.
T gave y'all
I
9
have
minutes
anxiety. I
of
was so, I
everything.
have anxiety, y'all. I was so nervous. Oh my God.
T, you a rock star. So
I was so, well, I see y'all at the Mean Green Gala.
Put
There
that
we
in
go.
Mean Green
Put that in
Gala, come on out, put on those 50 Shades of Green. We're going to have a funky good time and just come on out and see me. You know, I don't
February
drink, but
18th,
I'll
right around
have
the
a good
corner.
time.
yeah, no, it's gonna be a blast.
February, and it is the day, I literally want y'all to know, I was supposed to go out of town for my actual birthday. I turned 40 on February 17th, and I planned my whole birthday around the Mean Green
Oh,
Gala because I wanted to be
We're
there.
gonna have to do something. It's gonna be
Yeah, I
something
do.
specific.
Yeah, I do.
All right, Erica, you over that? We're gonna do something specific, a certain song or something. We're gonna have to do something for her. So
Yes.
Michael?
Mike,
Mike all
we'll put
day.
Mike in there.
That's
But
it.
guys, appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Give us a comment down below. Share with your cousin, baby mama, everybody that you know.
Yes.
Other than that, man, we love y'all. Take care.